Hello, BookTube. For this Poetry Thursday, I will be reading Autumn's Velocity by Austin Smith from his collection Almanac. Autumn's Velocity. A spherical acre of the lower night is lit and they drive in droves, their faces sea green with radio, to watch the last rage and violence of adolescence burn itself out in the bodies of boys who, years from now, having become their fathers, will come watch their sons do the same, and on like this forever. They shook upon this night in town years before and descend upon it now, driving down Main Street, slow in the long shadow of a defeat suffered decades ago, remembering a late hit or somebody's spit. Now they're meeting on this field in the bodies of their sons to finally settle it. The sonless ones either stay home listening on battered radios or remain in the bleacher shadows, picking a number for a son, rooting him on as if it is their blood that purls in his body. But first the band. Some of them will never touch their instruments again, but a few have begun to become obsessed. They march in militarily, the music angular incantatory, the drums booming like distant cannon, the music of a field more ancient and ragged than this one. The loudspeaker speaks, and the voice of the local mechanic reaches into the oak grove, where boys who don't care who wins smoke. Beyond the egg of light in which violence is incubating, and beyond even the smoking boys, is darkness, tools of harvest left in fields taken 2 months before, legendarily huge and elusive deer, and something unnameable. Above the packed bleachers hovers a firmament of breath and steam from hot chocolate. Silver flasks are pulled from pockets and passed around tight pockets of men, the history teacher muttering, "For God's sake, this is a school." But where there is violence there will be whiskey, and they take the shots hard like soldiers about to have a limb sawn off. Indeed, watching their sons play is like watching some part of themselves breaking off and becoming winged. Across the way even the visitor stands are full. The other town is dead tonight. Almost no one walks down the dark and leaf-strewn streets. The visiting team emerges first, their cleats clicking on the asphalt like the hooves of a cavalry, their helmets glaring, their savage looking in their foreignness, though they're just boys from the next town north trotting around a field. Programs flitter out and the air becomes ordered into names and numbers. This will be the last autumn the senior's last name will find itself in the strange mouths of another town, his last chance to be interviewed for the paper, to get free breakfast at the cafe for the hit or catch he will or won't make tonight. Soon he'll be one of the watchers too, clinging to the chain link fence. Older, he will stand in the bleacher shadows, picking a kid about his size and speed to breathe through. Some are aware that soon all this will be a memory, especially those whose fathers drove them hardest. For these each second rings with the knowledge they are nearing the end. There are those who, no matter how good they are, cannot wait for this last game to be over. Who would, if they could, be one of the boys smoking in the oaks, who, hearing something in the corn, have turned their backs to the game. But now the home team appears, the crowd stands as one and roars, and it is clear it is time. The game must be played. What took them so long was the prayer, the boys kneeling as if receiving absolution, and in a way they were, though what sins they were being absolved of it is difficult to say. Maybe it was the sin of being sons at all. Tonight they have been asked to be great for the sake of their fathers. If the bleachers were empty, they would play with the giddiness of schoolboys. Instead, because their fathers are watching, they approach the field solemnly, despite the fact they're sprinting now. Deep in their face masks, their faces are pale, as if it's perfectly possible they could die. So, Autumn's Velocity by Austin Smith from his poetry collection, Almanac. Thank you, BookTube.